Hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of the EPL Preview Show. This is Game Week 10 of the English Premier League of this 2020-2021 season. We'll be having full 10 sets of matches again this weekend. No more international breaks until March, so that's some great news for football fans, especially the EPL fans. So we'll be getting started on Friday and we'll be getting done on Monday as well. That's how our usually weekends are for this Premier League this season. So starting off with the first game we have this Friday is Crystal Palace playing at home to Newcastle United. Now, both teams played last week and they were pretty alright, I can say. Newcastle, they came up with a loss to Chelsea 2-0. I believe they had nothing much to do in that game, but Chelsea, they have been playing top form right now. They have been getting results after results, especially against the bottom teams, like the teams which will finish in the bottom half. They have played most of the teams down there. So we'll talk about Newcastle here. So they are going away to Crystal Palace. Newcastle has been good in part games. Like they play good 2 games and then again they come falling down. I think it's based on the fixtures they have. They have some tough fixtures coming up, and then they have some easy fixtures. And this is the type of game which is, we can say they are the mid-table rivals, Crystal Palace and Newcastle. Crystal Palace is pretty impressive. Eze, Wilfred Zaha, and Batshuayi, they are the main players right now for Crystal Palace, and they'll be playing at home to Newcastle. This will be an interesting game. Newcastle has Callum Wilson, who's been scoring in not week in win out, but he's scoring against the teams which we expect him to score. So I believe Callum Wilson will score here, but I'm going with a 1-1 draw in here. Both points will be shared between Crystal Palace and Newcastle, and they will continue to be fighting to stay in top of the mid-table, I believe, and definitely do not touch the relegation zone. So moving on, we have 4 games on Saturday. The first one being Brighton Hove Albion playing at home to Liverpool. Liverpool were pretty impressive last week, considering how many players are injured for them. In the past 2-3 weeks, they have multiple players injured, players getting tested positive for COVID, and they traveled to Brighton. And last week they played at home to Leicester City, which I thought might be a tough game. We'll be seeing goals, but they got out a clean sheet out of there. Andrew Robertson, the star of the show in that game, an assist, and James Milner also playing well for Liverpool in this game. So a fun fact, Liverpool played midweek yesterday in the Champions League and they lost to Atalanta, an Italian club. Considering they filled Jurgen Klopp, he rotated the team a lot. So hoping if Liverpool get back to the zone this game, it'll be an easy win for them. But I can see Brighton scoring as well. But Liverpool will still be too strong, so I'm going with a 3-1 win for Liverpool. Diogo Jota, he has been the signing so far for Liverpool. He's been scoring goals and he's been linking up the midfield to the attack, and which has been clicking very well for Liverpool so far. We still haven't seen Thiago, who I thought was an amazing signing for them. He's been missing out due to COVID and then some injury issues as well. So they will be without him, but I believe Sadio Mane, Diogo Jota, Mohamed Salah, they'll all start, and I can see Liverpool walking through 3-1 win for them. So if you have good Liverpool players in your team, definitely bet on them for scoring and assisting as well. Next up, we have Man City playing at home to Burnley. Man City last week played against Tottenham Hotspurs, and they were masterminded by Mourinho and his team. They lost 2-0 against Tottenham Hotspurs away. Spurs, pretty good. The way they played, the way they set up against Guardiola's team, there was a perfect, that's a perfect setup for a team when you're playing against a high possession, high team which has the ball about 60-70% of the whole game. And now they're coming up against Burnley, and Man City will be really looking to run the show here, because they will be really pissed off what happened last weekend, and they would like to get 3 more points and get on top of the table. Not top of the table, but like just keep building on the table. So this, I believe, is gonna be a rout of Burnley. Burnley, I believe, they won last weekend. They had the first win of the season, but now they travel to Man City, who will be too tough, and I'm going with a rout, probably a 4-0 final win for Man City here. Kevin De Bruyne will be, finally, he'll get some assist in this game, and Jesus and Ferran Torres, he's the man. He's been scoring, he's been playing well for Man City on that winger area. So Ferran Torres, Bernardo Silva, I believe they'll run the show against Burnley. Burnley will sit back and defend the whole game. So depending how well if they don't break, it'll be good for them. But Man City, once they get the first goal, they will keep on running on Burnley. So I'm going with a big win for Man City here. At least 4 goals for them. Next up is an exciting game. Everton playing home to Leeds United. Leeds United, they were unlucky to come out with a draw last weekend against Arsenal. I believe they were pretty good against Arsenal last weekend, and they hit the post, the woodwork 2-3 times. They should have scored and probably won the game, but unlucky for them, Arsenal hanged on there, and they both shared points. And now they travel to Everton, who have been pretty good. Dominic Calvert-Lewin again on the score sheet last week, and he can be on the score sheet again, if probably from a header. So we have 2 exciting talents to watch here. Dominic Calvert-Lewin of Everton and Patrick Bamford of Leeds United. They are the players, we can say English-born, English-bred players, and they're at least getting 2 to 3 shots inside the box for their team each game. So imagine if they keep on getting that amount of shots every single game, one can always bet on them on scoring or assisting in a game when they are playing. This is a tough game to call, I'm saying, considering how Leeds were last weekend. If they continue, they have been pretty well. They have been an attacking force this whole season. So that's why I'm thinking they will score, and I'm going with Everton to score as well. So I'm going for a high-scoring 2-2 draw here. Points will be shared, and Leeds will be happy since they're traveling and they're getting a point off Everton, who are doing pretty well so far this season. So let's see how that goes, and this will be one of the exciting games on Saturday. The last game on Saturday it's between the relegation battlers West Bromwich Albion versus Sheffield United. So this is a tough game to call. Sheffield United lost at home last weekend against West Ham. They have been pretty terrible so far, and I can say West Bromwich Albion have been a slightly better than Sheffield United this season. So I'm going with a slight edge for West Brom here in this game. A 2-0 win for West Brom, I can say. Sheffield United, they haven't been on top of the game yet. They have some exciting players, some great midfielders, and the wingers, the 3-5-2 setup they always play. But they are simply not clicking so far this season. So for that reason, I'm going for a West Brom 2-0 win. Callum Robinson might be on the score sheet. Let's see how that goes. And yeah, I'm going for a 2-0 West Brom win. Next up, we have 3 games on Sunday. Top games. First game being Southampton versus Manchester United. Now this will be an interesting game. Bruno Fernandes from Manchester United has a top form. He was pretty impressive midweek in a Champions League game against Istanbul. So they're traveling away to Southampton, who on the other hand have been pretty impressive so far this season as well. They drew last weekend against Wolves 1-1. So this will be an interesting take. I'm leaning more towards Manchester United, but I think the way Southampton are playing, they might edge out a draw. But since Danny Ings is still not fit, I'm still worried about the striking up front. Che Adams is pretty good. He has been on the score sheet and the assist sheet as well. So Che Adams, Manchester United will have to take care of Che Adams. If they can handle Che Adams, they'll get a 3 points here in this game. So this is a tough game to call, but I'll go for a 2-1 win for Manchester United here. Bruno Fernandes, I'm not sure if Paul Pogba will get the start or will be on the bench. He was not in the squad at all last weekend. So let's see if Ole has something special in store for him this week. Let's see how that goes. I'm going for a 2-1 win. Then we have the big top of the table clash this weekend. The London derby, Chelsea playing Spurs at Stamford Bridge. These are 2 big rivals. It's number 1 versus number 2. Spurs coming out with an impressive win against Man City last weekend. And Chelsea, considering their form, they have been pretty impressive as well. But this is a real test for Chelsea here. They have played only one big game, I can say, against Liverpool, which they lost 2-0. And Spurs, it'll be interesting to see how both teams set up this game. Chelsea, I believe, will be more on the attacking side, and Spurs will try to replicate what they did against Man City. And considering how Harry Kane and Son have been playing, their chemistry, their coordination, it has been pretty good for Spurs, and it has been working so well. And Mourinho has got Spurs banging on this season. And Chelsea, I believe this is a big game for them. Ben Chilwell, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz might be back for this game, and Mason Mount. Mason Mount will be on the show. He played midweek in the Champions League. Chelsea got qualified for the knockout stages. It's a tough game to call, but I'm going with a 2-1 win for Spurs. Harry Kane or Son Heung-min Son, they will be again doing something, assisting or making their magic, their chemistry work. So for that reason, going for a 2-1 win. Chelsea, their big games coming up. I'm still not confident about Chelsea and how they set up in big games because they have struggled in the big games under Frank Lampard since the last season. So for that reason, I'm going for a 2-1 win for Spurs here. Okay, the next up, we have the last game of Sunday. Arsenal playing at home to Wolves. Arsenal were pretty dull and pretty unimpressive last weekend against Leeds United, and they would want to shrug it off and get something running here. They are hardly creating any chances from midfield, which is the reason Aubameyang is not getting any service, and which is the main reason he hasn't been scoring goals at all. I believe he loves to score against Wolves, which the history tells us, and this is a home game. Wolves will be playing on the counter, and they're pretty good at the counter, considering Raul Jimenez, Adama Traore, and Daniel Podence striking that midfield. So hoping Arsenal have Thomas Partey back in the squad, they can squeeze out a win. But if not, if Arsenal continue their form from last week, it will be another dull game for them, and they cannot afford to lose points here. But I'm going for a 2-0 win for Arsenal here, hoping Aubameyang scores, and considering the main factor being Thomas Partey starting in the starting 11. So they're still missing that creative player. So let's see how Arteta sets up. He really needs, and Arsenal really needs a win and the confidence back to build on the season and climb up the table. Next up, we have the two games on Monday. Leicester City, an easy game against Fulham. I can say this will be a walk in the park. I'm going for easy. They'll at least score 3 goals here because Fulham have been conceding a lot of goals, and they haven't been as impressive. They lost 3-2 last week, and they played against Leicester, who will be off with a bad result last week against Liverpool. So they would want to get things right and get 3 more points and build their position on the table right there. So I'm going for the 3-0 win. I believe Jamie Vardy will be on the score sheet and James Maddison as well. So I think it was an easy win for Leicester. 3 points and they'll climb up the table. The last up, we have West Ham United playing at home to Aston Villa. These are 2 exciting teams. Both of these teams have been pretty impressive so far. Aston Villa, we are coming off a month after that huge win against Liverpool. They won 7-2. They won against Arsenal at Emirates 3-0 a couple of weeks ago. They come up against West Ham United, who have been pretty solid in defense the past 2 weeks. Ogbonna and Aaron Cresswell, they have been pretty solid in the back of the West Ham United back four. And considering if they are able to produce something more from the attacking options they have, they can, get Aston Villa on their strings. But Aston Villa have a jack of all trades, Jack Grealish. So if Jack Grealish is on show, there's no one stopping and connecting Aston Villa here. So this is a tough game to call. I was leaning towards more a draw, but I'm going for a 2-1 win for West Ham United. Sebastian Haller, Thomas Soucek, and I believe Fabianski will have a lot to do in this game because Aston Villa might get a lot of shots. But I'm going for a 2-1 win for West Ham United, and let's see how they come up in this one and if they continue the impressive form so far. So that's it. That's the 10 games for game week 10. Let's see if all the teams, the teams who are struggling, if they are able to pick up points and climb up the table and build confidence going on into the busy Christmas period coming up. Because we will have many games coming up this December. So stay tuned and please do let me know what do you guys think. What are your predictions? If your favorite teams is playing this week, who do you think which player do you think will be a better option to choose in the fantasy team? And more or less, we'll definitely connect in the coming weekends as well. So until then, please do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'll come up with predictions every weekend and hopefully keep you entertained. And then hopefully let's get this right and enjoy this Premier League in this coronavirus vaccine season. All right, until then, take care, be safe, and have a good game week 10 of EPL.